Dr. Renee. I've been using THINX period panties for about 4, almost 5 years now. I absolutely love that. First and foremost, because I'm not wasting money and gas going to the store to get pads, and I wasn't really a tampon user. I used them very rarely, so that's my biggest thing. Secondly, the way that pads feel, like you're always reminded it's there because you can feel it. I felt like I had a diaper on. I felt like everyone knew I was on my cycle because they bulged, because I'm a heavy bleeder. That's another good thing that you need to know. The third thing is they're great for the environment. And of course, along with saving money, I'm not ruining any clothes. I'm not ruining underwear. I'm not ruining my clothes because of the leakage, nothing. It's free bleed and it's so amazing. No one would know I'm on my cycle unless I tell them. There's no odor, there's no leakage, and they're wonderful. And if you would like to try them out, $10 off using my link, and there is a money back guarantee. If it doesn't work out for you, you can do that as well. But I promise if you try it, you'll fall in love with it. And there's a lot of other options out there. As a matter of fact, THINX even has other options that you could check out. Check out the website, shethinks.com/Renee, RENEE. Bye. Good morning. Good morning. This is the Ask Dr. Renee show. In case you have never watched the show before, this show is here to motivate and inspire you to live the life you deserve. Some of our past guests have been Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child, Lisa Nichols, the wonderful, amazing woman, Paul Carrick Brunson, wonderful, amazing entrepreneur, and Kwame, DJ D Nice, just to name a few. But they all have one thing in common. They have amazing stories that I think motivate and inspire me. So I would think that they would motivate and inspire you. So today our guest is just as amazing. It is the legendary Miki Howard. And if you don't know, then hopefully by the end of this time, you will know. But you should know. And you should definitely know who she is, because she is, so talented in many ways. As a matter of fact, I just found another way that I forgot about, I'm going to mention. But thank you coming to the show, Miki. Thank you so much for doing this for me.
My pleasure, Dr. Renee. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. So, Miki, can you tell people, what was it you wanted to be when you were growing up?
Oh, I really actually wanted to be an evangelist when I was a child. I always wanted to be a singer, though, yeah.
And so you grew up here in the lovely Chicago. And so Chicago back then, I'm sure, I know it was a lot better than it is now.
Yeah, I'm stunned.
Yeah,
I've been back here in Chicago, I am stunned.
Yeah, we're trying to get better, but I know just, back then was just a different time anyway. But you growing up then, and you grew up with a bunch of singers, so I think that probably helped you because you were in a musical family as is. So your mom, did she encourage you?
Well, I would say she didn't discourage me.
Okay.
She didn't live very long, and she never saw me really get into my career. But she knew from the first, because I was always telling her, I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be, and she would say, star spelled backwards is rat. So she had lots of stabilizing conversations with me before she did pass away. So yeah, my dad was a starch encourager. He was like, yeah, he's so excited and proud, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. And so, so you have how many siblings again?
Several.
But are you the only one that went the music route?
Well, no, I have some sisters that actually did go into gospel. One is a professor, and she's an evangelist. And I have another one. We call her Smurf, but her name is Latrivia Graham, and she's into the gospel scene deep and wonderful music. Wonderful.
Awesome. So you started really young. So how did you get that first start?
Wow. I was singing anything I could sing at. I sang at a church function, which was then called the Miss Black Rose Beauty Pageant for Praises of Zion Baptist Church in Los Angeles. The church secretary was Carol Thomas. He was my foster mother's cousin. So I wasn't old enough to be in a pageant, but I had to be involved in everything. So she made me the entertainment. And I was about 16 years old. And a guy named Augie Johnson, who had a group called Side Effect. He was a very popular group at that time. It was like the mid 70s. They had a song called Always There, SOS. What? I mean, they were just jamming. So I knew the group. I love them. So he started to talk to me, and I was a bit young, but he introduced me into the world of secular entertainment.
I see. So you started out at like 18, right?
No, I was 16.
16. See, I knew it was young. So, but so then you weren't even legal to get into the clubs.
No, I wasn't. We would sneak in the clubs, but when you're a musician, everybody knows you. I mean, it was a different time. There was always music at all the clubs. And at this time we were in Los Angeles, and there was a club, Mavericks Flat, and then there was one called the Total Experience. So Mavericks would have some entertainment. It was for teenagers, and it was mostly the Soul Train dancers. And so everybody would come down there, and the children of famous people or other artists. So we had a group of friends, and we would go down to the Total Experience, which we were not old enough to get into, but we knew the guy at the front. He knew who we were. He knew we were, the artistic crew. So he would let us in, and he would tell me, don't you drink anything with fruit punch? And he'd go over and he'd get me a fruit punch. But we got to see everybody perform, everybody live, from Donny Hathaway to, oh my God, who was it? Millie Jackson to Ronnie Dyson. These are names people may or may not know. DJ Rogers, just everybody. It was a really great time.
So when was your quote unquote big break? Like your first big record deal?
Wow. I mean, I had deals ever since I can remember.
Right.
It was the Side Effect with Fantasy Records. I guess my first big check was like $10,000. I was about 17.
Nice.
And working with the LA Boppers, and then Side Effect. So yeah, this has been it for me.
Right. And so she was in groups, and then she became the solo phenom that she is now. So, so when was the first solo project?
1986. The Miki Howard Come Share My Love. Yeah,
that was when I became such a huge fan. I told her I was in the 8th grade, and I bought the CD. That was it CDs then? It might have been.
No.
It might have been the record.
Record with cassette.
Yeah. And I had it, and I remember watching your videos on BET, and I was like, oh, I loved your music. But I have to always tell everyone how I know the people. So Miki and I actually worked together this year. I did some PR for her because she did a really amazing residency at City Winery of Chicago. And for those that missed it, I hope she does it again, because she did 4 amazing shows. She had guests at each show. Just beautifully curated music. Yes, she does the hits, but she also threw in some extra stuff on top. So some of her guests were Glenn Jones, Sherelle, Allison Williams. But she really, she packed the houses out. It was sold out every time. And I hope that everyone and she also went to Atlanta, did the same thing. But I hope that everyone gets a chance to see her live, because she puts on a show. We even had a Billie Holiday night where she came out and did all of the Billie songs. But like I said, she does come back. She does her hits. But yeah, it was a really great experience. I did get to go to all the shows, so it was awesome. So I hope everyone gets to do that. But when we have a mutual friend who's been on the show twice, actually, Christine Swanson. And Christine said, Miki's doing this residency. I said, yeah, I saw. And she's like, you think you can get her some media? I was like, yeah, And so she texts me Miki's number. And I told my sister, I go, oh my God. My sister was like, you're crazy. I was like, I know. So I calmed down, and I called Miki, and so we met, and I was just so excited. I'm very calm in person, though, so that she doesn't know that I am.
I had no idea.
Huh?
No idea. I just thought it was so cute.
That's what I said. I go, she would have no idea. And then even like during that whole time, I sing. I was singing your songs like all night and day outside of your presence. My sister and I would be on the phone, and I would just bust out with "Come Share My Love."
Oh my God, that's so sweet. That's really sweet.
Yeah, and then I did tell you though, I created a playlist. I showed you the playlist I created with you and Sherelle, and that's what I was listening to a lot of the time. But yeah, I was singing your songs all night and day. I said, Alicia, if she saw me, she'd be like, "That's not Dr. Renee."
What the hell?
I was having way too much fun. And then when we went to WGN and you guys were doing sound check, I told my sister, I go, it took me everything not to start dancing and get on a mic.
Oh my God.
I said, Lish, they were doing Love Under New Management and it was just sounding so good. And she's like, did you keep your composure? I said, I'm a professional, but Alicia, I wanted to. She said, oh, goodness gracious.
That's so awesome. What?
But I had a great time. It was fun. And then what you don't know also, I was going to surprise you because you were going to my hometown of Detroit and it was Easter weekend. I was going to go and I had talked to one of the shows there about having you on too. And then COVID-19 came and ruined my surprise.
Wasn't that a mess? We were really looking forward. I was really looking forward to going to Detroit. That really hurts. But it's rescheduled for August, so we'll see what goes on.
Yeah, awesome. And August actually is my birthday month.
Oh,
but yeah, so Miki, I mean, she stays on the road. She does all of her own booking now. And I mean, and like I said, that City Winery thing was just amazing. So well put together and curated. So you guys, please, if you have the opportunity, you have to go check her out. But we have to talk about Miki is the first person that had a biopic on TV One. And it was amazing. It was so well done by our mutual friend, Christine Swanson. And yeah, Tiana Ferris played Miki and did an amazing job. But that story, everyone's like, why does she have a story? And I told Miki, I said, because she's smart. I said she was the first one, and it did really very well in the ratings for TV One. They were very happy. They've done a few biopics since, but they were very happy because it did very well for them. But I think that your story, Chicagoans probably knew, but not necessarily did everybody else know. Because if people that don't know, Chaka Khan is one of her best friends. And so there was someone that played Chaka Khan in the movie as well. There was someone that played Gerald Levert. Darius McCrary played Gerald Levert, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yep. And so it was just, I mean, it was so amazing. So how did you feel doing that? Because I don't know if I'd be so excited about having my story on TV like that.
I really was excited and happy for it because so many people think, oh, whatever happened to Miki Howlett, and things like that. And I thought it would be inspiring for somebody somewhere to understand and know it doesn't matter what happens where you are. You can always make a change. Get up, change your mind, do something different, or keep going in what you're doing. I hoped it would be an inspiration.
Yeah, and I think it was. It was just an amazing story because it ends in a happy ending. She's here. And all as well. So it was really, but it was very interesting to watch and see the dynamic of, the different relationships in your life. And I mean, the industry is so crazy, as we both know. It's insane. But Miki is a performer. And so she said, this is what I do. I don't necessarily have to be of Hollywood, but this is what I do. So, and she does it so well.
I mean, after all of the allegations and things have been made against the R. Kellys of the world and the Epstein or Epstein, whatever, and everything. If you take a time capsule and just go back a little bit to when these things were going on, and I'm against certain things, and I'm getting blackballed. Okay,
right?
Now someone who is mistreating people and women is excelling.
Yeah.
In the same profession, and not only getting blackballed, and at the same time, even when you're successful, you get paid less than men.
Yeah.
As a woman, I didn't even know that. I found that out later. I thought it was just because I'm black. They also pay you less when you're black in this industry. So I thought it was just that. Then when I found out, even my black peers that were male were getting paid more than me on all things, so it was a lot to be up against. and to have outlived to see the changes that are being made implemented by some of the women, it's sort of vindicating. Not that I needed to be vindicated, because if it was my road I would have traveled it, but
Yeah.
it was. So, but to just say, see, you guys, I knew you weren't right, and I knew that me giving in or doing like you wanted wasn't going to end me up anywhere but to a place where you wanted me to be, which is obviously in the grave, because that's where they put so many of our fabulous artists, and they want to be there at the end. If they, make you big, they want to be there at the end to collect. And if you don't cooperate, then there's nothing to collect on. It
Right.
was like, so to me, I feel like, yeah, I did the right thing. I did the right thing.
And Miki's not only a singer, she's a producer, she's a writer, so she does all of it. All of it. And I
Well,
mean,
you have to do it yourself. Necessity is the mother of invention. I never came into show business thinking I was a one trick pony. I came into show business at a great time. It was just at the end of the great artists in the 30s and 40s were just coming to their end. I got to take dance classes at Fred Astaire's dance studio. And, I got to go into what was RKO Studios with the man Glenn, who does Glenn Sound, which you'll see on all of those shows from Dick Van Dyke and everything. Glenn Sound, Mr. Glenn owned a building that we lived in. So he would take me, and he was about 85 years old at that time. He would take me down to the studio and show me all of the things in the studios for movies. So I had great ambitions, and we got to go on field trips and stuff to TV shows that were being produced, like Sanford and Son, and you get to meet the people and all. I was encouraged. I was in show business. I wanted to be. I loved it. I loved it, and it was great. And when Aretha Franklin moved to Los Angeles, a lot of the people from the Midwest moved to LA in the 70s, early 80s, 70s, and late 70s, and I got to be the babysitter. you know so I just loved it. I did, and I thought it was going to be that way for me. But if you don't have protection in terms of someone, a good team, they say now, they
mhm.
call them handlers. I would never have a handler. A handler, I'm not an animal, but they call them handlers now. And but if you don't have a great team or somebody that's really out in front of you, it's really, really difficult. And sort of for me, my protection either got jealous because I was successful, and it's really another thing that people don't talk about. Men, especially black men, are jealous of successful black women. And even when you get in relationships with them, they are jealous of your success, and they don't want to be. They find it hard to swallow that you're making more money. And jealousy is rottenness to the bone. The Bible says that. Scripture says it. Life says it. It is. And so you have someone next to you that's supposed to be in your corner that's rotten to the bone, you're not getting far. So that's another hurdle that I personally had to overcome. And you see a lot of the women that are successful have that protection,
Mhm.
i.e., Beyonce. You
Right.
know, okay, you may say, uh, um, what's the Rihanna's a very strong woman, but before she got there, she had someone in that place,
Mhm.
and probably still does. So it's really difficult to be African American woman in show business, taking care of your own stuff.
Yeah. I can imagine. Um so I told you my friend and Bam is watching. Bam, her favorite song was the duet with Gerald Levert that I didn't know anything about. Call me crazy. I think it didn't play in Detroit. That's my excuse because I didn't know that song because when she sent it to me, I was like, no, I never heard this a day in my life. And I said to her, I go, she's not gonna sing this. The
Yeah,
first show I text her, I go, she's singing your song.
well, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, well, like I said, I didn't know this song, so I was like, huh? But who wrote that song?
We wrote it together.
Okay.
Gerald, myself, and Mark Gordon, one of the other members of the group Levert. And we
Yep.
actually wrote it on the phone because during those days we didn't have all of the communication tools that we have now, and we wished for them.
Right.
Oh my God. I'm like, you can't just send a track, huh? You know, justice. But I wrote a verse and he called back and played it on the phone, and Mark wrote the music, and we wrote it on the phone.
Nice. And so so let me think some other iconic songs like Love Under New Management. Who wrote that?
Annette and Gabriel Hardiman from Philadelphia.
Okay.
And it was actually a gospel song. I like it's taken on more of a religious, spiritual meaning, because the Love Under New Management thing is like.
And Miki was one of the first people that did the Aretha Franklin song. And why I can sing it. You
come back to me.
Thank you. And she did this when Aretha was still living. Did Aretha give her blessings?
Yeah, she liked it. She was
awesome.
I love Aretha Franklin. Oh my God, I loved Aretha Franklin. I was so devastated. I had to lay on my couch for 4 days when she died. I was like, oh God, have mercy, Lord God.
That's so sad. So sad. The funeral was on my birthday.
Oh no.
The day after my birthday. Yeah.
I was supposed to go, and then I got like total like stage fright. Weird, like I didn't want to be around everybody and stuff. I got, it started to be such an okay, you've got your security pass, and it's almost like, oh my God, okay, wait. Okay, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't. Okay. I couldn't. I just could not. I couldn't.
And I understand. I mean, if you have a personal relationship with her, then I could see it could be very difficult. And it was a long service too. So that's a long time to be able to be okay too. So.
And the family, I was just like, I have been through a lot of funerals in the last 3 years. Let's just say, okay, I lost my dad, my sister unexpectedly, several people, and I can't. I could not.
Yeah, and sometimes you can't. That happened to me a couple years ago, and I really wanted to be there, but I was like, I can't go to another funeral right now because it won't be good. Because I didn't
want to dive into the abyss that I couldn't get out of.
Exactly. And that's what I said. I don't want you all to have to take care of me when I'm supposed to be consoling you. So it's just best I just not go.
Yeah, I'll just say my prayers. I mean, I had ticket, room, everything. When I was in hand, I was like, I can't do this. But anyway.
Yeah. But she was amazing, and she was a Detroiter like myself. So and you do a great job on the song. I mean, as a young child, I didn't know anything about Aretha Franklin's version. So you were the only version I knew up until a certain age. But that happens a lot if you think about it. I mean, if that's all, like, I didn't know that Stevie Wonder did Creep. I thought Creep was Luther's song. But I was in college when I found out and actually heard the Stevie version. It was like, oh, this was his song. Oh. Had no idea. But I mean, like I said, that's what happens. The funniest story is when Kwame did Loving You and had that Minnie Riperton. So my mother tried to tell me and my sister that was Minnie Riperton because she is related to people that grew up with my mom, and my mom knew her. And we were like, no, Mom, that is Shanice.
Okay.
My mother's like, no. And then we finally learned, and we were like, oh, she was right.
Yes, of course. Mothers are always right.
You're right. They are. My mom is watching. They are. But yeah, so now this is the part that I just was scrolling. What was I was scanning something, and I looked. I forgot you were in Poetic Justice.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of our movies. And I was like, oh my God. And I sent it to my sister. I go, I forgot all about this. And she said, oh, that is Miki. I was like, right?
That was back in the day.
So so what other acting roles did you, because that wasn't the only one. You did a little bit of acting.
And let's see, Poetic Justice, Malcolm X, something else I can't remember.
Okay.
But, yeah, you gotta get up early in the morning to do movies. Yeah, I almost had a career. I almost did. And then
I
you
was
got to
going
go
to
to
say,
acting
now that
class
you're
and
in
stuff.
Chicago and they film so much here, you could maybe revisit that.
Well, yeah, I'd like to. It'd be fun.
Maybe. Like, because they film
Play somebody's
everything.
mom. Yeah, all right. I'll get to be a mother.
Yes.
Sit down. Shut up. Walk over here.
Yes, exactly. I think that
And my
that would be,
grandson said no.
huh?
My grandson is sitting here. He said no. He's such a mess.
I tell you. I tell you. But I think that that would be a great thing for you because you did very well. And like I said, I completely forgot that that was you. I was like, wait a minute. I said, oh my gosh, she was in our movie. But
Yeah,
and so like I said, that might be something you look into, perhaps.
be fun.
Perhaps. So so besides touring the, country now, what are you doing now? Like I know that you have a single that you put out. So can you tell us about the single?
Yeah, it's just for fun. A song called "Fed Up," and it's really is a good song for the climate because we should be fed up. There's a lot of garbage going on, and it's about my girlfriend in a bad relationship that should be fed up, and it's a fun song. There's a lot of material. People say, "Oh my God, you have been making music." I make a record every 3 years. Period. I don't care if I do it myself. So there's so much music on the internet, from YouTube all the way through Pandora to what's the Jay-Z company called? Intel,
Spotify.
whatever it is, it's on there. All the streamings, all the music.
Awesome. Awesome. And
What happened to my sound?
I can hear you. You did go down a little bit, but I can hear you.
Okay, let me fix it.
Okay.
Okay.
We had a question that I want to make sure I ask from one of your fans. She
Justice, sit down.
saw the post. Oh no, where is it? If anyone has any other questions, I see Cynthia Lipsy said she loves you. But anyone else has questions, please feel free to type them in. I will try to get to them, but I want to make sure I answer this one question.
Just to stop it.
This. One second here. This is where I need my producer. My producer's at work though.
And stop smacking like a. Stop it. Stop it. You want the whole world to see you get your butt whooped?
Uh-oh.
But
She
you
would
do it
like
all
that.
the
So
time. I can do whatever I want to.
Tracy M would like to ask you if you would, or if she is aware of the joy, love, and inspiration she transfers to people who hear her sing.
No, but thank you. Thank you so much.
So how many years have you been in the business?
I forgot. It's been like all my life.
Yeah. And you have a
Like
big birthday this
45
year.
or something.
You have a big birthday this year, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn 60.
Does she look 60, you guys? She looks amazing.
I do. If
You
you know
do.
what I look like, I look 60, girl, child.
No, you do not. No, you do not. And then the glam that you wear at your shows, oh no. I don't know many grandmothers that dress like that. They can have the ability because you look amazing when you do it. So no, you look great. You've taken great care of yourself. You look fabulous.
Thank you. I love that.
Yes.
You can call me all the time.
Huh?
Call me anytime.
So silly. So silly. So how does it feel to be back in Chicago versus being in Cali?
Well, I like it because I love the cold weather. I love snow. I love the changes of the seasons. I love like, my loft living, I love Chicago. Chicago's a fantastic place. I was born here,
Yeah.
and I've been gone a long time and I'm approaching my retirement, serious retirement, and I just want to be somewhere I feel home, I love LA. LA is a great, it's like a working place to me. I was there during my working years, and it feels good to be back home now. I'm concerned with the prejudice here in Chicago, and I'm concerned with the gangs and all of the murder. And it is not even like gangs, like it's just like people that have become um, serial killers. They're not. It's not like regular gang violence or regular drug dealing thing. This is serial killers. They're doing it because they get a thrill out of killing. I've been trying to figure it out and studying it and all of this stuff, and it's there's a lot going on here, and we as people are not listening to each other.
Right.
We're not we don't know the history of each other. Do you know what I'm saying? White people are mad at black people mad at white people, and it's a family. It's a family. And it's just the same if your brother or your sister was you raised in the same house, which is earth. My sister may have been raised by my father's family, and my other sister may have been raised by the mother's family, and one is very pulled up and one is very rural. And they get into difficulties in terms of, I've done a lot for you already. And that's one side of the story. And the other side of the story is, I wouldn't be here if you hadn't brought me here. It's another side of the story. And we'll say, well, we tried to make it up to you. Okay. Um, we built housings and we did this and we did that. And what you did was you tore everything down that we tried to build for you. And
Hmm.
then the other side is, I don't want you to do anything for me. I want to be able to do it myself.
Right.
I'm not being educated. My children don't have the same. So it's a back and forth that I feel it's a conversation. I feel there needs to be some systems put in place and things like that, because Chicago is in serious dire need of a reconciliation with each
Yeah.
other, the people, and as maybe in my later years in soon to come, I'll be able to do something about that. I'm real concerned about that. And the
But
other
I will
thing I'm
say,
concerned about is artists that are maturing, and we that do the most of our work on our vocal cords, on our feet, traveling. Our body is our main source of income. We've been sort of shut down in a big way with the virus. For me, it's maybe hard, but not as hard because it's feast or famine with me anyway.
hmm,
It's been that way all my life. This is the business I'm in. I gotten checks, $800,000, and then checks for $8 too.
right.
Feast or famine. Uh, it was more difficult when I had young children, you know, but now with just myself, it's better. And I've learned, you put up money, you try to have 3 months, whatever.
Hmm.
Doesn't always work, but you do. Then you go, what do you do now? Other projects. I've been working on this for some months for my 60th year, you know what I mean? So I have a wonderful documentary and things like that to present. So I've been working on that anyway, but and writing scripts, and things like that I was doing anyway,
Hmm.
because my time was short. It was, it's time to be off your vocal cords, especially for me, to get off my feet. But during this COVID, people are having to live the life that they think they want to live. Like they always say, "Oh, I wish I was a star." Well, you know what? Stars stay home. Stars are not all around in the streets all the time. Really, seriously.
You're right.
When you see a celebrity, maybe at the grocery store, is about as far as they go. This is how we live all the time, with a very limited amount of people coming in out your home, because people steal. People come in and with video cameras and video you in your bed and you don't know it, so you have a limited amount of people. When you travel all the time as a living, we all have like a little special habit. Like one of my girlfriends, she always brings towels and she never puts her head on a hotel pillow. you know I am a freaky about. I have bleached myself out of the room before. I, stop on the way to the hotel. I'm getting, I'll get the bleach spray and I gotta bleach the knobs and I gotta bleach every. So I stopped that. I started doing the towel thing. But you have your own. You have these habits anyway. I don't want to catch the flu anyway. So I'm traveling with a face mask, and people are looking at me crazy. Face mask and big glasses. I don't want nothing going in my eye. I don't want to breathe in anything. I have been on a plane, and by the time it lands, I can't breathe. I've gotten something. So I'm really careful with that way anyway. So a lot of these things that people are experiencing, uh, welcome to our world.
Right. But I was going to say your shows, they are kind of a uniter because your shows had everybody, black, white, all ages. So I feel like, you could possibly in your next career do something to help Chicago because when I was at the shows, I noticed that it wasn't just black people. It was a whole lot of, other people too that were not,
Yeah,
so I
my
think
platform is love. My
exactly. And I
first
think,
record, man, come share my love. It
right.
was I meant that. It's love, and God is love. God says everybody's looking for God. God is love. Everybody wants love. Even the lowest criminal, the person that's a pedophile, weirdos that you don't want to be with, whatever, they need love. Everybody needs love. You can't deny people love, but they may have symptoms of some other things that need to be addressed. You may need to give the pedophile that castration pill. I'm for it because it doesn't change.
Right.
It doesn't change.
Right.
You have to do something to change it. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that is the same thing. We have so many men children in the hood, and we bought some property in the hood. I was over there. I had a dog. The dog ran away. The guy brings him back. He's a little kid. Looks like he's 15, and with just some shorts on and no shirt, whatever, with the dog. He's bringing him back. He goes, "Yeah, we saw the thing on his chain. They called me. I'm kind of like the police around here. They called me. They wanted me to shoot him, but I was just reading the Bible, studying the Bible, probably with Jehovah's Witnesses, and it said that we have dominion over the animals. So I didn't want to shoot him. So I looked at the chain, and he put a chain on him. He said, I looked at the whatever it was, and I saw where he was. I walked him over here. And he said, yeah, and my name is Antonio or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I stood out and talked with the young man. And I remember when I had a drug issue way back in the 90s, child. I was late to the drugs, but I, I took an interest in the young men that were selling the drugs. They're like between 13, 12, 20, and they have no hope. And I've had conversations with them. And when I left, I wanted to have something for them to go to, something to change their trajectory in life. They have no hope. They haven't been off their neighborhood. They expect to die by the time they're 21.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like everybody hates them, and they're just to be beat. That's why when they're not afraid of the police, they expect to be beaten up and killed, or JoJo got, wet, whatever they call it now. It's craziness. And it's because they have no hope. They don't have any dreams. They don't believe their dreams can come true. And then the people whose dreams come true don't really do anything to help them. In reality, they donate to all of these big charities that these kids and people never see the money. They never see the money. And girl, I could go on and on and on. But music is a universal language, and it is a uniter. And I think when they took music and athletics out of the schools, we lose a lot of our youth. They lose a lot of hope because that was hope for them. It was
Yeah.
hope for me. It was hope for my mother. It was hope for my father. They sang their way out of the ghetto.
Yeah.
James Brown sang and danced his way out of the ghetto. So it was hope, and it's been hope for Jay Z and all of those people. They sang their way out of the ghetto, or rap their way out, or
Right.
made music.
Exactly.
So it's hope. It brings hope. So maybe one day.
Yeah. Maybe one day. Now, I did see you're doing something for Mother's Day for mothers.
Yeah, in conjunction with City Wineries, who I love. Ever since they opened, they've been a great support and throughout the country. We're doing a Mother's Day package, which is pretty much done, where we do the personal message to mom and a mini concert, like right here in my living room, wherever this is. Den, I think I did it in the den, and I try to, really make it as personal as possible. People, tell me their mom, name, and such, and I, tell them a special message and do a mini concert. So it's really cool. And part of the proceeds do go to help the wait staff at city wineries and things. And I love supporting because they have been really good to all of us, not just me, to
No,
all of us.
they do. There's
From
a whole lot of
Ben
great
Jones,
artists that
Tony
are coming.
Terry, Regina Bell, Kiki Y, everybody. They really given our music uh, a platform in the live venue circuit without having to be a part of a festival, which I never am part of any festival. People are like, why aren't you on the Essence? I don't know. Why aren't you on the Soul Train? I don't know. But I know that City Winery hires me all year round, and Yoshi's in Oakland and Blues Alley. And so I'm like, I'm a supper club queen. I love it. I enjoy it. And they've been good to me. So we want to support the city wineries and the supper clubs throughout the country when they open
Yeah.
because it's hard on everybody.
Yeah, this is hard on everyone. This has affected everybody. So my last question is, I know you heard about the battle with Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. So who do you have?
Well, I don't believe in
Huh?
battle. I don't believe in artist battle. I don't. It's apples and oranges,
I mean,
apples and
I
oranges.
think when we call it a battle, because even with Teddy Riley and Babyface, if there was no Babyface, there wouldn't have been a Teddy Riley. So I feel like Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, I think it's just going to be a great show of, they're two amazing women with lots of great songs.
I love both of them. I really do. And sometimes I'll reach out on Instagram or Erykah Badu reached out to me. And I love them both. And I do. I wish, man, I really do. I love how they're so natural and
Yes.
exactly who they are, and they're beautiful and smart and successful, talented. What more can you ask?
Right. I totally agree. I'm partial to Jill Scott only because she was my very first celebrity interview ever. And this was it was a long time ago. And thankfully there was someone there. I had my camera and somebody actually was nice enough to film it for me. So that was the first video I ever edited myself and put on YouTube. But so I'm partial to Jill Scott only for that reason. But and then actually my guest that was on last week was Jill Scott's publicist that did Who is Jill Scott? And that's like my big sister. So I'm kind of.
She have a great smile. When she smiles, at least it's like everything is all right, right?
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I think someone should tell Swiss and Timbaland we need to have a matchup between like Mickey Howard and Sherelle or somebody, people in that era. So you can just play your songs. Because when I tell you that night that we just got to listen to Teddy and Babyface just play all their hits, it was just amazing. And then they had the gospel night last week, I think it was, where Hezekiah Walker and John P. Key just played their hits. It was wonderful. So I think that would be really cool.
Of course, maybe they will one day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, look, it looks like we'll be here for a while. I don't know if you saw the governor's press conference yesterday, but it looks like May 28th he will reevaluate things, but I think that we will still be sheltering in place in June. So.
I kind of do because people are hard-headed.
You're right.
If everyone, they didn't believe it. But when you see the Chinese government and they have on hazmat suits, I'm thinking this must be airborne. That was my first thought. And it was just a natural thought. And then I'm like, why are they not acting like it's airborne?
Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It is.
And then the young people, I had a hard time harnessing the young people. Like I have like a million kids and grandkids, and I'm like, please stay. And then my daughter comes home with her nails done. I was like, I'll choke you. I should choke you. What the hell are y'all doing? This is like the first couple of weeks. They wouldn't believe me. I was like, I ain't going. No, I've been sheltered down since March 1st. March
Okay.
1st. Do you hear me? I got sick March 1st and I stayed sick till March 16th. I don't know what I had.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna go, I had the corona or
Right.
whatever. I don't know. It was the worst thing I ever had in my life. I could not move. It was terrible. I'm telling you, it was terrible. It was terrible. And I moved around the 21st of March, okay? And I'm still inside
Mm-hmm.
from March 1st. March, April, May.
Yeah, exactly. I've been here since March 13th. So I get it. I got it. And I mean, like I said, I think unfortunately we already know summertime Chicago has completely shut down. There is not anything happening this summer in Chicago. So, I mean, there's not much to leave the house for. So I think there will be many more opportunities for us to hear great music and be entertained. And so I hope that Swiss Beats and Timbaland will do something to homage to the 90s and bring some of that great music that we had. They could even do one with the boy bands and the girl bands. I have such ideas. But thank you. Go ahead.
I'm just saying it should be good if they get a chance to do something like that. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think so. But thank you so much for your time today. I greatly appreciate you. And thank you, Greg. So Greg is a videographer, photographer for the documentary. So thank you, Greg. And everyone, tune in. We have another show this week.
Up in here.
We have another show this week with So definitely check that out. And we will see you later.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
You good?
Use the raggedy phone. Stupid phone. My